So we are live. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Matt and Cabby, and we're Richie as well as we do. We chew over the bones and bits and bops and spit the gristle out of the match that we we actually beat Millwall today. I'll just get me channel up. Where are we? So I can see what is going on. We are live. So Richie, do you want to start things off? How did you think that went?
Yeah, like I said on the stream there, Cabby, it was much improved performance from Preston and Coventry. We didn't look fatigued today. We didn't look tired. So really, from the kickoff, we were pressing them really well. We were getting in the faces, and it was great to see. There was plenty of energy on the pitch. Isidore, Mundell, and Roberts closing them down at every opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Then going to the defence. I mean, for having a makeshift defence, I thought we looked quite solid today. Alan Brown, I think he done an all right job. I think he did an all right job at right back. He certainly didn't cause any sort of major issues. One or two, if I'm going to be picky, maybe one or two things. He didn't look quite right, but he's not a right back at the end of the day. And then Trey Hume, obviously playing on the left. I thought he put in a solid performance like Trey always does. The only thing I would really say about the match is that obviously the midfield, I think at times we looked a little bit overrun again in midfield.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there wasn't anything sort of major that stood out to say, oh God, you know what I mean? That was a bit of a bad performance or whatever. So it was a very good performance compared to the last two games that we've got. We can't just expect the lads to turn up today and absolutely hammer Millwall and be in phenomenal form. It's not gonna happen. But we've got to use today as that building block. It was a bit of a scrappy game. I think neither team found it quite hard to get the foot on the ball. At some points it was very end to end. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied. I'm satisfied with that result today. And I think another win, I think that's it. We've got the playoffs confirmed. The only thing I will say, Cabby, is I think we're going to have to use these 7 games that we've got left now to build up some momentum.
Mm-hmm.
A bit more sort of like team cohesion. I'm saying that word right. A little bit more togetherness. I didn't like seeing Dan Neil and Mundell argue on the pitch like that. It looked absolutely... It's not right. I mean... Look, 09 taking that penalty. I mean, if Dan Neil's made that decision, that is a poor decision from Dan Neil. But apart from that, Cabby, here, I'm quite happy with that.
Well, it certainly looked as if it was Dan Neil made the decision, because that's what Mundell was arguing with. He wasn't arguing with Luke 09. So if he's arguing with Dan Neil, it tells you the tale what's been sort of going on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it was just an awful penalty by Luke 09 as well. It was dreadful. I mean, no attempt to put the laces through that whatsoever. It's like, what is that? But do you know what? I knew we'd miss that. I had that feeling. I just knew it. I says, when I found out who was taking the penalty, I thought, well, here we go. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let that mask over the fact. Tricia Winstanley says, I don't understand why Neil made the decision for the penalty. Rich, why do you think he made that decision? If it is Dan Neil, because I'm sure it is. Why do you think he made that decision for Mundell to take that penalty?
Well, I think only Dan Neil can know, really. It's just very surprised. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, Luke O'Nine's a centre half. There's not many centre halves out there that take penalties. Can't even, to be honest, name you a centre half that would step up and be the first man to take a penalty. It's normally obviously either a midfielder or a striker. I think it's a very poor choice when there's other options on the pitch like Mundell and Isidore and even Paddy Roberts, you know what I mean, or even Joe Bellingham, Trey Hume. There's a lot of different options out there, but Luke O'Nine, I think what we're going to have to do is wait to hear what Dan Neil has to say about that, because surely he's going to be questioned about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very, very odd choice to pick Luke O'Nien to take that penalty.
Trisha
just don't understand it.
Trisha says I've never known a centre half to take a penalty either.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Mundle's fired up, like say he's been fouled, he's been in the box, he's fired up. You could see he had this game face on. I'd rather have someone who's got the game face on to take a penalty to someone who's like looks petrified, because he did. Luke O'Nien, he just didn't look comfortable at all. I mean, it's also going to put pressure on Luke O'Nien, because Luke O'Nien probably felt awkward. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, but yet again, could Luke O'Nien have stepped in and says, "Oh, Dan, away, let's give it a Mundle away." Do you know what I mean?
He won't go against. I think Luke's the type of fella that's going to have respect for Dan Neil. I know Luke O'Nien got the captaincy taken off him, but I think he's the type of character that won't sort of like argue the case, would he? He would just get on with it, you know. But I'm not sure. In the first place, I know it's very easy to say, I don't think the captaincy should have been taken from Luke O'Nien either. I think it should have just been left as it is.
Dougie Stewart.
I'm not saying.
Dougie Stewart just says O'Nien was confident to take the penalty, maybe.
Yeah.
And Tricia says O'Nien's going to get stick off the fans, and that's not fair on him. No, I don't think he's going to get stick, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they're already focusing on who made the decision to take the penalty. They're not going to give O'Nien stick. But like I said, this is what you get when you haven't got a recognised striker. Every team's got a penalty taker. At the minute, we haven't. Do you know what I mean? We're just stained. And they need to sort that out, especially if we do get into the playoff final and against the penalties. My God, I've got no hope in hell, have we? Penalties in the playoff final, come off it. There's only going to be one winner there, isn't there? It can just.
I'm not sure if Lafayette can take penalties. I know he takes a lot of set pieces forward before he got injured. I don't know whether he might be an option. But that needs to be sorted out. I think it's going to have to come down to the manager to say, right, lads, this is the penalty taker. You know, you've got the list of the takers who can take them, but I think that's going to have to be addressed. I think Mundle as well, like I said to you on the stream, he's got every right to have a go at Dan Neil in that dressing room.
Yeah.
Just to say what you're playing at, mate, you know.
But anyway, we'll focus on the win, and it was a win, and whether you argue or not. Man of the match, Try Hume, do you think? Or would you say Mundle?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Hume did play a heck of a game, and he did finish that ball off. And I was impressed by Paddy Roberts as well in the first half, not so much the second half. But I would give it to Mundle. I think Mundle, he was just full of energy today. He was getting in the box all the time. He was just, you know, you could see he was sort of getting back to that form. So yeah. But there was like I say, Trey Hume did play well as well. So
he took his goal well, because it was a really good bright start from Sunderland, wasn't it? I mean, we could have scored a couple of goals within the first 2 or 3 minutes, and we got off to the start what Sunderland were after. But nice cross on the volley. It was a professional finish from Hume, wasn't it? But I don't think Millwall posed any threat at all. I don't think. I wasn't nervous. Even the last few minutes, I wasn't nervous. I just thought Millwall were quite. We weren't fantastic, but I didn't think Millwall were all that. I was expecting them to put a bit more of a fight up, but it's almost like we won that game. We didn't really get out of second gear. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we were massively comfortable, but you know, from Alex Neil's side, I was expecting them to at least possibly make a good go of that. But you know, the main thing is, as Dougie says, that I think Mundle was man of the match as Trisha. Dougie says the main thing was the win today, a better performance, still room for improvement. And we've actually closed the gap on Leeds to another 2 points now. We've closed the gap on them. It's mad as enough as it is. But you know, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's the way football's gone, but not well done to the lads. We've done the job. It wasn't pretty, but it's like pulling a sort of a mediocre bird or a club. You know what I mean? So I'm not happy with it. I'm not over the moon and that, but that'll do. If the result at the end of the day is good, that'll do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Very good first half performance, Cobby. It's just the second half, as normal, we just seem to sort of like die off a little bit. I'm just looking here at some of the stats that we've got from today. So we've had 14 shots and we've had 6 of them on target. So let's just say we're getting half a shots on target, which is, it's a massive improvement of what we've been playing. The past few games. We're going to have to be careful as well with these yellow cards, because actually we did pick up 5 today. I thought it was 4, but we have picked up 5 yellow cards today as well. And Job had us a little bit nervous at times because he picked up that yellow card quite early on. But I think, again, Job is starting to show signs again of what he's about. You know what I mean? He's very much sort of like that ball-winning midfielder at the minute for that will break up the play. There was improvements all over the pitch, and I think, like Dougie's just said in the chat there, Cabby, it's something that we're going to have to build off now. Is we've got the win today. The next match, let's build a little bit more. Let's just keep it going and keep it going. Not too much pressure on ourselves. Just focus on ourselves, because all that matters now is getting this next win to cement our place in the playoffs. But also, like I keep repeating all the time, is just to build that momentum, because we want teams to fear us in the playoffs, not for us to fear them. We want it the other way around. So we're going to have to find that. But yeah, I mean, if you want us to be a little bit picky as well, I mean, Patterson's distribution again today, I mean, it wasn't as bad as what it has been. I mean, kicking the ball out the touch and things like that, but we were playing a lot of long balls up towards Isidore today, and they've got 2 massive centre-halves, Tanganga, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but he was just totally dominated by the pair of them when the balls go up to him. So I would have liked to seen a little bit more playing out from the back today. But I didn't get it why we'll keep launching the ball to Isidore. It happens time and time again when he comes against these big centre-halves.
Dougie says obviously the main thing is the win, move to improvement. Tricia says that is the main thing, and hopefully will be lifted by the win. Beer Goggle says Tricia, looking at that match. Tricia says 5 yellows. Job isn't scared to go in for a tackle, but he is open to more yellow cards and stuff. Alright, and so we'll leave it there then. Richie, it's just a little bit of a chew over. No doubt you've got stuff to do Saturday night.
Cool, mate.
And
it was your man and match then, Cabby.
Oh, that's a good one, that. I would say Mundell just edges it, because I think he was a nuisance.
Yeah.
Close second by Trihume.
Yeah.
So you'll be available for the Monday night show?
Yes, of course, mate. Always. Yep.
No
definitely.
problem. Okie dokie. Well, that's just a little rundown of the match anyway, and we'll talk about it in depth as well on Monday. Rich, thanks for your support, mate, for today and helping out. Bong's just popped in. He says, "All right, lads." He says, "Meffin played well." Yeah, Meffin didn't have a bad game, did he? He was okay. Enjoy your Saturday, Rich, and cheers for joining in, mate.
No problem. You too, Cabby. Take it easy, bud.
Take it easy, mate. See you later.